Hello, Jack here, and I'm here for what may or may not be my last free tea video. It depends on how everything goes. Tomorrow I go to my therapist and get my tea letter, which is great. And the next day I go to the endocrinologist and get my blood work done for testosterone. Depending on how excited I am and what kind of resources I have, I might make another video. I don't know. I've been really slacking off as far as making videos, so I just don't know. So, how am I feeling? I am going batshit crazy over all of this, and part of it is just being excited because I am 26 years old, and I've been living as male since I was like 17 or 18, so that's a long time to be preteen, and I'm also having a little stress. Um, and it's interesting because I have no doubts that I want testosterone. But because it's so real now, I'm actually thinking, yes, this is right here. And not only right here, I mean, like, within a matter of weeks, less than a month, at least, I should be on it. And that makes it very real and very tangible and concrete. And that puts me through a lot of stress. And it puts my brain in places it normally doesn't go. So I worry a little bit about, for example, I work at a group home, and I don't worry about my coworkers because I'm not out there. I'm working as male, and everybody there knows me as male, and I suspect that most of them also recognize that I was not born male, but it's not something we talk about. I assume that they just know, though. I'm more worried about my clients because, I mean, they all read me as male too, but they're more apt to actually talk about things. But whatever the case, that's actually like the least of my worries. I'm slightly worried about how my family is going to react, although I don't see that being that much of a problem either. I'm worried about how fast it's going to take. If it's going to be so fast that it's like bam and everybody freaks out over it, or if it's going to go so slow that it just frustrates me. Both of those things, like, I don't even know. And what my money situation is going to look like. And I'm getting a refund from my school that's around $800, so I shouldn't really be worried about that right now. But it's one of those things that I'm still worried about. And I do have a job, and right now all I really need to pay for is gas and trans stuff, but it's gonna be stressful even if I have the money. And finally, the biggest source of stress right now is what's gonna happen to me if I can't learn to self-inject, because I can't afford to keep going to the doctor and pay to have her shoot me up. I keep telling myself, and I wrote, because I'm pagan, as you may or may not know, I wrote like a chant, a a dual language chant, no less, that goes through all of the steps so that I don't forget any, so that I can just like say this weird cryptic pagan prayer and calm myself down and it'll be fine. But since I haven't actually test driven this, it's one of those things. And I've been trying to ease that stress other than just writing poetry by going and looking at resources that FDMs have put up on the internet in order to help ease that sort of injection stress, but it's just stressing me out more. So, I don't know, I guess I'm just gonna have to wait and see how things turn out. I know that I don't have a problem with needles proper. So, like, I actually went into shock once, and I'll tell the doctor this, even though it's not something that normally happens. It doesn't happen when people inject things into me. It happens when people take things out. So when I go for the blood work, I know I'm going to be tempted to look. And as soon as I see the blood go, just watching blood flowing. So, yeah. But actually getting shots, like a flu shot or anything sort of like that, I've never had a problem with that. So hopefully that'll just pan out. But anyway, mostly I'm just happy. I mean, I have that stress going on, but mostly I'm happy, so that's good. And since it's my vlog, I'm going to do a couple of life updates too. I mean, I'm already going longer than I hoped to. but I kind of babble like that. My video, I'll do what I want, damn it. So, couple of life updates. I am relearning German. I think that I might have said that in a recent video, but it might have been one that I never actually posted, because I don't actually post most of them. So for a little bit of history, I took it in high school, for 2 semesters. Along with my brother, actually. Me and my brother had the same German class. He was a freshman, I was a senior. I took it at the same time as I took Spanish, and subsequently did very bad in Spanish, even though I'm very good at Spanish, or at least I was. So when I got to college, I continued in Spanish, but I didn't continue German because I couldn't afford to take 2 placement tests, and I wasn't going to take 2 languages in college, because I only needed 1. Okay, so the thing is that German really interests me, and a large number of my family still speak it, so I wanted to relearn it, for that and some less wholesome reasons, but mostly the wholesome ones I already mentioned. And so I started retaking it, and I did relearn how to read it. So on the internet, you might actually notice me if you do. You might see me on some German forums because I can read it, and I can usually write it. But I can't speak it very well at all, and I can only barely understand it if you talk at me. In person it's easier, for some reason. I don't know why. If somebody is actually talking at me, I don't know if it's because they're changing their speed for me or what, but it's different than watching it on a screen. But, I don't have that many people to talk to, therefore, I watch movies instead. And I mention this because today I look in my mailbox, and I have Netflix. I'm like one of the only people in the world who still gets their DVDs. And I see one of the movies that they sent me is this movie called The Raspberry Reich, which is a German language movie by, I think, a Canadian director. And it is about a bunch of German youths who, it's set in the 70s, and they are all radical. They're like left-wing radicals, or a revival of a left-wing radical movement, or something like that. I'd have to actually, but that's not the important part. The important part is, like, a large center of the plot is that the ringleader, who is this woman, makes the men in her group prove their radical cred by having sex with each other. So, when Netflix suggested this movie, there was no way that I could turn it off because, goddammit, that just sounds kind of hot. So, that'll be the movie today. I think it's German language, otherwise I don't think that I would have added it. But, if it's a cool movie, I will tell you about it because it sounds like a cool movie to me. It's also given me this weird, mild obsession with German food, both because I grew up in that sort of family where we'd eat that sort of thing, and because I see all these vocabulary flashcards that I make for myself, and I think, God, that sounds really good right now. So, for example, right now I'm actually making Quark cheese with... It's funny because you can't buy that around here, but you can make it in your oven. So I'm like, I want to make a fucking cheesecake. So I went and I made some cheese. And it's going to be so bad for me, but damn it, it'll feel so good to eat that cheesecake and possibly share some with friends. Anyway, school is going well. I still have a 4.0 grade point average as of the last time I checked, although my last paper in communications was rather mediocre. I think I did good on the other exams, so even if I got like a B, I can't imagine getting less than a B. Although, I've imagined less accurate things. I can't promise that my grade won't slip like 0.01 points or something. I'm just being arrogant now. But like, I can't promise that it's a 4.0 right now, but it should still be a 4.0, which makes me exceedingly happy. Anyway, my classes next semester are pretty much all computer classes, except for, I think I have economics. And that'll hopefully be fun. I've been more involved with the Multicultural Club lately, and I still haven't tried starting a GSA. Even though I do know more LGBT people now. There are at least 3 trans men who go to school, including me. One of them is on testosterone, one of them I think is on testosterone, and the other one's me. I mean, there might be more. but there's at least 3. One of them I hate his guts. I'm sure that if I actually talked to him, I wouldn't hate him as much, but from afar, I really don't like him. Just because he's immature. I'm sure he's a good person. I'm not gonna babble, though, just in case. He'd know that I was talking about him, too. That's the sad part about why I'm talking to the internet about this. And I know of a couple of gay guys, too. But I don't know if they are interested in this sort of thing, because they're kind of older and they're not quite as in. But you know what? We're not even going to talk about that right now. I friended a couple of people at school, which was awkward, because, I mean, at my university, I was so out that friending people, including professors, was just no thing. Like, it was one of those whatever things. You friend me, you know things about me, that's fine, that's cool. Now it's one of those things where there are people who I friended who have been calling me she since they first met me. And one of them, I think the last day, I had a class with him, he switched to he. I think he did, but I don't know, and so I can't imagine what they're thinking. Like, suddenly I friend them, and they're like, wait a minute, Jackson's a man, despite the fact that I have an obvious male name? I don't understand that, by the way. Like, I understand that I'm feminine, but my name is Jackson. Anyway, I'm going on T anyway, so there's no way they're not going to know, so it's okay that they're on my Facebook. But speaking of T, again, one last thing before I go, since I'm really going over time now. I'm going to take some voice samples today, and take some baseline photos, for some pre-T comparison goodness. Which, actually, it sucks. I shaved recently. I shouldn't have done that. But I'll try taking pictures of what I have left. I'm going to make a massive scrapbook for when I do presentations, and it's going to be epic. I'll be singing a couple camp songs because I'm not a great singer and I'm not going to be subjecting you to pop music, so I'm just going to give you some la-di-da Girl Scout camp song music, as well as this German folk song called Du liegst mir im Herzen, which I love both because it's like marginally sad and gets in my head a lot, but also because my great-grandmother sang it a lot before she died, and I just found out what this song was now, because my family just knew it as the Do song, and she'd sing it all the time and we wouldn't know what it meant. Like, me and my brother, I think, knew what do meant. We were really paying attention. And later, like, just recently, I found out that Marlene Dietrich sings it, and I found a copy of that. It was awesome. So I'm going to sing that. And somebody actually suggested that it might be useful in a sort of lorem ipsum sort of way. Sort of like how when you just put a bunch of random, like, Latin-like gibberish on a website so that people can see what it looks like without paying attention to the words. Something sort of like that. So maybe those of you who don't understand German can focus on the voice and maybe not so much the terrible song choices. I don't know. And then those of you who do understand German can just make fun of my terrible German. So that'll be fun. When my voice starts changing a lot, maybe I'll post it here. But anyway, I'm going to go do that and pay attention to my cheese so that it doesn't burn or whatever it does. Until next time, happy trails. I'll see you next time. Redundancy.